What's up, everybody? This is Adam here with... Oh, we're a little low, sorry. This is Adam here with Mystylistlife. We're here at the beautiful Paul Mitchell School, Las Vegas. Unfortunately, because there's a whole lot of people here, and, you know, we can't really capture people that don't want to be captured, so I can't show you everybody. I'm going to say hello. Once we kind of figure out who wants to and who doesn't want to, maybe we can introduce you around. And I definitely am going to be doing some interviews with everybody from financial aid to the introduction officers, the front staff, everybody. So those of you who are interested in actually possibly coming to beauty school or anything, you know, you'll get a little more insight into that, and hopefully you'll learn some valuable lessons about, you know, getting jobs, going to schools, things like that. So we've got our wonderful model Heather here again. Say hi. There you go. So today, since we have a little off time from the Corona craze, sort of off time, we are going to be taking you through one of my favorite haircuts, one that I'm not the best at yet, getting there, but we are going to be doing some nice, basically concave layers. For those of you who don't know, triangular concave layers to be specific. A concave layer is a very dramatic layer, so when you think of layers, you know, you do think those pieces of hair that layer, basically. They reduce some weight and can add a lot of cool effects to hair, especially those of us with longer hairs. You know, and they can be added to pretty much any type of haircut. You're definitely seeing a lot more in men's cutting with a lot of texture, things like that. With women, as I said, it does reduce weight, and this is going to be very beneficial. Now, one of the most important things when it comes to hair cutting is to remember it's sculpting. And there's a million ways to sculpt, there's a million ways to build, there's a million ways to do a haircut. And what really matters in the end is the end result. I highly recommend learning the basic, learning the fundamentals. The Paul Mitchell system is really wonderful for that, but don't limit yourself. Don't think that this is the only way it has to be done. Go out there. Go to Free Salon Education with Matt Beck. Check out Sam Villa. Check out every hair cutter that you can and watch them and learn all the different ways, because once you do understand those fundamentals, you're going to be able to carry that throughout your cutting career. So, as I said, we are going to be starting at Heather. She's working on some schoolwork. This is a school, so she might be dipping her head a little bit. So we've pre-treated her. We've taken her through the wash, which is always standard. I don't care what kind of cut you're doing, always wash your guests first. It's not only going to saturate the hair, but nobody wants to work on dirty hair, honestly. And unfortunately, we can't trust everybody to have their hair perfectly washed before they come in. In fact, most people don't, depending on their lifestyle and the type of haircut they have. We've also gone through and actually spray the hair down, because you do want to build your hair regimen just like a house. You're going to go and add your foundation, your muscle product, and then your finish. Your foundation is going to be usually spray, a moisturizer, a conditioner, something to bring that moisture and the porosity back down to a normal state, depending on what kind of washing you're doing. And this is the same at home. It's so worth it to invest in proper products. Products are not a maybe or should I. Products are a must. You want to know how most stylists get those amazing styles? They do actually use a lot of products the proper way. So on top of the moisture mousse, which is one of my favorites because you get a really large bottle and it's not that expensive, which, you know, we do need to budget a little bit here and there, especially as students. The other thing I went into is the Cream by Paul Mitchell. This was actually a discontinued product for a while that they brought back by popularity. It's going to moisturize, it's got a very light hold, and it's an amazing cutting aid. It dries wonderfully. It's not going to do much in the way of your blow drying time, but it's a great aid. So try it out. Conditioning sprays are also really good for cutting aids. I think this is very important to new stylists, new cutters. They're constantly fighting with the bottle. Obviously, you're going to use a ton of water, and in the beginning, it's always good to keep that hair saturated. But again, people cut hair in a million different ways. So some people only dry cut, where they'll do a couple minutes wet, the rest of it dry, almost the whole thing wet, refine, dry. So see what works best for you. Get you in your comfort zone, okay? So we've got everything set up. We always want to make sure we use our SMAs, keep everything clean, keep everything nice and tidy. This not only looks professional, but it doesn't keep in line with your state and board helplines, but no client wants to come up. I mean, you out there as the clients, and I know you're watching, hopefully someday in the future. Nobody wants to go in and see crap everywhere. It's like going into somebody's house and they've got dog poo everywhere or anything. Nobody wants to see that. So look professional. The way you convey yourself is how you're gonna be perceived. If you're tidy and friendly and positive, you're going to be perceived as tidy and friendly and positive. If you're moody and your stuff's everywhere, it's going to look like you don't care, and they're going to think that they don't care about their cut or their color or whatever service, their style, their back rub. It doesn't matter. And this communicates to everything. Clean your houses, clean your lives. Use the 3-minute rule. Use it all. This will make your life and the lives around you better. Just do it. Don't think about it. Procrastination is a weakness, so believe me, I've struggled with it my whole life. If I can get over it, you can. So, with most every haircut, especially when we're learning the Paul Mitchell system, we're going to be, I already have her sectioned out, so we have a center part going all the way down to the middle, and then usually what is in tune with the shape or, round, square, triangle. If you're going more the old school, like Redken, Vidal, Sassoon, you're going to have blunt, probably round and triangle. I can't remember, honestly. We'll cover that later. But having that nape section is really what's going to give you your perimeter, and that's going to give you a starting point, especially if you're doing any kind of layering. Otherwise, if they all have one length hair or hair that's longer underneath, and you go to layer it, you're going to end up cutting some of those layers a little too long or a little too short, and it's going to come out badly. So take the time and always set your perimeter. And another big thing is using section angle accuracy. What does that mean? That means your section should mimic your finger angle and your cutting angle. If I'm cutting a triangle or one length, that comb and that finger angle on the hair should mimic whatever straight line or curved line that I have. So because I'm doing a very gradual triangle, my comb and my finger angle, though it might be a little hard to see, this is actually going up, just about a quarter inch over your ear line. And we're going to be mimicking that because as much as I'd like to give her a crazy triangle, it doesn't really fit her lifestyle. And these are all things that I found out during her consultation, which is just, if not the most important thing in the whole process. If you screw up your consultation, you don't do it right, you don't find that special information, you're going to have an unhappy client that says, well, I came back, this looks terrible. Well, did you take the time to spend on it that you were supposed to? I have 5 minutes in the morning, I can't do that. Should have done a better consultation. Well, we're going to do this awesome cut on you. You give them an amazing graduated triangular bob, and they say they hate short hair. What have you done to my hair? But these are also discoveries that you're going to make in hair school. I have made just as many, so don't be afraid. Make those discoveries. Get those experiences. This is the time to do it. Cut your friends' hair to pieces. Cut your family's hair to pieces. It's only going to make you a better stylist. So, as I said, we already have her sectioned out, so we're going to go through and actually set her perimeter. Now, everybody's got 100 different ways to do this, as I said. I like to keep, unless I'm doing precision cutting, if I'm doing layers, I like to keep this part a little bit simple. So we know our shape. We know it's a triangle, longer in the front, shorter in the back. So that means our high point is going to be about here, and then it's going to be a triangle. You want to have them lean their head forward just a bit. Now, you can actually use over direction for this if you like to, but because we are doing a one length, if you do use any finger tension, you're going to be creating, even though it might be a tiny one, a slight graduation. I'm sorry if you can't see this part yet, because we're going to be focusing on the layers, but I'm just going to cut this perimeter in the back real quick, just keeping in mind it is triangle shape. It's kind of hard to see, but basically triangle, triangle, triangle. Make sense? Longer in the front, shorter in the back, round, longer in the back, shorter in the front. Over direction to the back, so it longs farther in the front. Over direction for a round, pull to the front, blends longer in the back. Easy enough, right? Fundamentals, study and learn and have them. So I'm just going to go through and cut her perimeter real quick. Now, as I said, she's basically just getting a trim, so we don't want to go too crazy today. Now we're going to take right off of our center part, combing that down with almost little to no tension. I usually use the wide teeth of my comb for this part. Don't be afraid to manhandle their head a little bit. If they're moving around, you need to tell them, look, do you want your hair cut crazy or do you want it perfect? So if they're moving around, just tell them to keep it perfect. So we're just going to go through and cut that perimeter real quick. Always double check. Got one little long guy in there. Now you may have to use your closer teeth. I am using primarily Paul Mitchell tools at the moment. I do have a wide part comb on the way. These are highly recommended. Some of your base tools are the ones you want to invest in. So get an incredible pair of shears. You know, it's something that you are going to use all through your career, unless you only want to do color or whatnot. But I don't think you're ever going to really know until you're out there doing it. I know plenty of stylists that, you know, started with one thing, and even when they got out to the salon, they realized, hey, I want to do something completely different. So, same thing on this side. We want to use our other side as a visual guide. And now when she came in, she also had a little bit of asymmetry in her hair from a previously done cut that was just a tiny bit off. So we're just going to fix that. And we're going to take a look at our other side, see about where that lands. Now since we already kind of have our center guide, we can go through this relatively quickly. And don't be afraid to brace the hair into the comb. This was another one I had to kind of learn to figure out on my own, because unfortunately it wasn't really part of the curriculum. Now we're going to double check. And that's perfect. That's all looks perfect. So now we have our perimeter set. We have it set comfortably. It looks good. So let's get to our layers. You absolutely want to invest in a couple of good, long, skinny hair clips. These are what are going to hold that hair out of the way for you versus an alligator clip, which is made to just grab a whole lot of hair and keep it. These are basically cutting clips. There's much better ones. Zambia makes a nice one. There's some great ones that Free Salon Education talks about. Try a few out. Try your friends, see what works best for you. Even the kind of cheap Walmart ones that are a little bit longer actually work pretty good. So give them a shot. Okay, so now we've got our perimeter set. Always make sure if you're doing wet cutting, keep that hair saturated. Your cutting aid will not do everything for you. So you need to make sure you keep your water bottle handy, all that good stuff. Now we're going to brush all of our hair in the direction that we want to section as we go. Now, make sure you do use the lift on your chair. I see people sitting all the time. I see people doing all sorts of stuff. And some of this is fine, you know. Sometimes you might have to sit if you want to get, you know, a very precise line. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of making them have it exactly unless you're doing precision cutting. You know, if anything, make them sit on a stool if you need to. You know, it's all about the end result, like I said. So, but you also don't want to train your muscle memory to basically make you lazy. So, and as I said, now we have our hair basically all going in the same direction. We're keeping that center part to a certain degree, but now in the back, we're going to be rounding it all off because when we actually do this cut, we're going to be going in kind of a beach ball section with smaller vertical sections at the front. So we start here in the front, bring that hair straight down, keep her head straight. Now, as I said, we have our perimeter set. So now we're going to make our guide. Now because we're doing a triangle, we're going to start in the back. So we're going to comb that hair out of the way. Now your guide should not be enormous. It should not be more hair than you can handle by any means, because honestly, the size of your guide is important, but it's not the end all. Now we're going to comb our hair up, and you're going to watch that hair that's too short fall out. Even you can see that these little pieces are starting to fall out. You always want to make sure that you stand in front of the section that you're going to cut. So since I'm going to be cutting in front of me, I can see that I'm going to be going that way. So as you can see, we're not taking a ton off. All that other stuff's going to drop out. Practice, practice, practice. Practice your movement. Practice your dexterity. This is one of the first things anybody is going to teach you, and some of the best will teach you. Fumi teaches some wonderful dexterity classes. Unfortunately, expensive, and I did not get to take one, but the principles are the same. Practice your dexterity. Next section, comb out of the way. Taking just a little bit of our new and a lot of our old. So we have a nice clean guide. Comb that up. Like I said, we are doing a dramatic section, but not too crazy. So there's also two ways you can do this. You can also change your finger angle if you want a more dramatic section, or you can cut straight across. I don't want to go too crazy on here, so I'm just going to cut straight across. So now remember, because we're also wanting to create that nice triangular look, we're going to go over to the opposite side of where we set our guide. So if our guide is here, we move this way, we bring over to this point. If you wanted a much more dramatic shape, you would actually bring back to the center part. So now we're going to go, even though we're going straight, we're going to go once over just here, right here. Everything will fall out. There's our guide. Another section. And don't go too crazy. Practice finding your guide. Practice looking for it. Practice seeing it. Practice lighting, all that good stuff, so you can see it. Because if you can see your guide, the basics of any cut are pretty much there. So I can see our guide in there, nice and clear. Bring it over. Section. And there's our guide. Right across. Now we're going to take this all the way across. Now you get the basics of this. I'm not going to drone on too long because I don't want the video to be 2 hours long, and I will make a longer one in the future. You're basically going to follow this around the head shape. Each section on this side, bringing over to here. This side, bringing over to here. If you wanted to do a standard layering without the triangular shape, you're going to do either straight up. If you want it to be round, then you're actually going to bring it to the front. It's that simple. It's fundamental. So play around with it. You know, you're also on professionals. You should be getting these fundamentals down before you do anything else. So I'm going to leave it at that today. Hopefully we'll do another video today. I just want to thank Matt over at Free Salon Education. Thanks Anvia. Thank Paul Mitchell School, Las Vegas, for letting us film here and just being wonderful. Thank you to the coronavirus for just making life difficult. Why not? And thank you to Heather for being our wonderful model from time to time. Be sure to check out my Instagram page at Beautiful by Adam. The name of the YouTube page, of course, is Mystylistlife. Tell your friends, tell everybody, please like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.